How you feeling there, Mac?
Good enough to fuck your mother!
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
You brought me fucking Leprechaun Origins. You are a bastard of bastards. I don't... Oh.
Beware the leprechaun.
Is it at least... It's not even Warwick Davis, is it?
No, it's Hornswoggle, the wrestling midget.
Hornswoggle? What the hell is a Hornswoggle?
It's a wrestling midget.
Oh my God in heaven. I don't know if I can
A
deal
little
with
person,
this.
I mean...
I've never understood the benefit of that particular
That doesn't seem better. Is it
really
something
doesn't.
new now? See, Dylan
Hornswoggle
Postal.
It's probably Postal. I don't fucking know. But, yeah, whatever the hell, yo. Holy shit, why do you do these things to me?
Because I can.
Oh.
Dude, it combines two of your least favorite things. WWE wrestlers in movies. And B-level horror movies.
God, you're a terrible person, Rev. Terrible person.
That's probably true.
And you must be, because this is The Mean Geek, episode 211.
211.
April Marvels.
God, we've been doing this forever.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's also been a while since, so we got to get cracking up in this motherfucker.
No, that's not true. It was last week.
Yeah, but that doesn't feel...
We're just way behind.
It's been a thick fucking week of activity, man.
My
It
life
feels like
blows.
forever. Nobody wants to know that. I know it because I have to, because you're my pal.
No, but all I'm saying is, like, shit has been bad. So, like, podcasting has not been... I have not been free to record easily.
I ain't blaming. I'm just saying that, absolutely no one outside this room has any interest in either of our busy lives.
Or what we have to say about anything.
Pretty much, yeah. At any rate, Ant-Man opened this week.
Ooh, did you go see it?
Nope. To 58 million. And apparently that's not good enough, and everybody thinks the MCU is over.
Dude, they're freaking out. Like,
Even though it was the number one flick.
58 million on the first week is bad?
It ain't fabulous, but...
Yeah, but it's fucking Ant-Man. It shouldn't be.
I've read so many reviews that say it's the absolute perfect blend of passing on the torch and humor and adventure and action and character. I'm looking forward to it. It's just I had a big weekend.
Yeah, no, you had some insanely adult shit going on.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see a problem. Like, they can't all be the Avengers.
No, they really can't. And people just get so fucking spoiled, man. That's the best way to put it. People get fucking spoiled.
Your expectations have to be in line. It's Ant-Man. It can't fucking be Iron Man. And hopefully it's a damn good movie, and I suspect that it is. Switching out Edgar Wright still annoys me a little bit, but that guy comes with his own friggin' difficulties, let's be fair. I do feel, though, like you have to, like, Guardians was an anomaly. When you take characters that no one basically cares about and knock it out of the park, like, that's a job well done. That's not par for the course.
Yeah, that's an exception.
But, I think this movie will be fine. I think people are freaking out over nothing. I do think Doctor Strange is troubling.
That might be a rough sell, man.
And for the reasons we've talked about in the past, Doctor Strange based, not the movie based. It's a hard fucking character to do well.
Yeah, he hasn't even had his own book in ages.
Because they don't sell. Because people are like, shut up. Stop fucking talking. And stop wiggling your fucking fingers. By the hoary host of Hogwarts. No. What? No. I've seen Harry Potter. I understand that you're saying stupid shit.
And this is from a guy who likes Doctor Strange.
It is the quintessential 70s book. It is verbose. It is, and I don't like it. You'll notice. Think of all the things I've given you. How many of them I rebought or revisited since you dragged my ass screamingly back to comics? Do you see any Doctor Stranges coming back?
No. I have just about every Doctor Strange you had.
Yep.
And it's taken me 3 years to read them.
And if you dump them, I might grab one or two out of.
Because you dig that Colin.
Yeah, I definitely, because Colin art is a big. Gene Colan is, he's lauded. He's just not lauded enough as far as I'm concerned. That guy is an amazing comic book artist. But yeah, I might nab one or two, but am I going to recollect Doctor Strange? Absolutely fucking not, because revisiting it, you're like, and like I said, I didn't know how you'd take it, but it is very much an anti-you book in the fact that you're like, seriously, shut up. Like, right now.
I don't mind reading, but you have to have something to fucking say. Because the problem with pre-'80s books, and even halfway more through the '80s, people would describe in dialogue what they're already doing on the panel. I'm going to press this button now. Click. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Did I need to read you say you were going to click the fucking... No! But in this case, he's speaking what should be captions.
Well,
in the swirling mists of the plains of Aether.
It's a challenging book. But I do think, old 50s and 60s comics, that was everything. You had to describe everything. And it evolved in the 70s to get beyond that, but it takes time. And there's a lot of, self-discovery. Oh, my God, look at those Guinnesses. Oh, my fucking God. Oh,
they're
my God,
beautiful,
oh my God,
aren't
oh
they?
my
Look
God,
at the
oh my
size
God,
of
oh my
those
God.
fucking things. Woohoo! That's some fucking beer I can get into. God damn.
But,
there's Bill in 20 years.
20 years. I'm going to survive 20 years.
You might. Dude, I need you to fuck around, okay? Don't.
No, it's a hard... So I do think that movie's going to be rough. But I did actually read a list of... listing the the Marvel Universe films and putting them in order.
Right.
And the usual... Thor, the second Thor was, I think, the lowest on the list.
Yeah.
Which I didn't hate. Then came Iron Man 2, deservedly so.
Right. But I don't hate that as bad as many people do.
No, but if you put them all in order, Iron Man 2, no one can argue that Iron Man 2 isn't at the low end of that.
It's one somebody borrowed and I don't have anymore, and I have not been breaking my back to get another copy.
If you find a used one somewhere, you're going to nab it to have it, but you're not running out. No, Iron Man 2, although this list actually put Iron Man 3 above Iron Man 1, which just boggled my mind.
All right, that's a little weird. I don't know about that.
But, yeah, and then they have Age of Ultron, because it's a list, so, they have to be fucking topical. So Age of Ultron is very low.
I enjoyed the fuck out of that flick. I did not find the flaws that everybody else did. I had my own flaws, but I didn't...
Oh, you have a lot.
Fuck you.
No, it's,
Did the mic even pick that up?
Fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole. Get the car.
SDCC is over, but we talked about that last week.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No.
Oh, yeah. San Diego is over. Who cares?
We didn't go.
We didn't go.
Who gives a shit?
Hey,
lots of people bought stuff. Lots of people saw things.
Lots of people.
I think you did mention, I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, I think you did mention that yet again, comics is coming in third to everything else that was going on.
Yeah, pretty much. It's movies, TV, cosplay, comics.
Trailer.
Although, I am so worried about fucking Batman, Superman.
You meant that we talked about, and I debated with you whether, because I think Batman attacking Superman first totally fits the character. You hate it.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Because you're basing it on the comic, because why wouldn't you? Whereas I'm basically, if you follow the film Batman progression...
Yeah, if he was going to be that aggressive, why did he retire for 8 fucking years?
Oh, because there was no super dude running around ripping shit up?
Oh, no. Okay, so organized crime was the only kind of crime he had to worry about.
Yeah, he was.
Once that boss was out of the way, fuck it. Nobody else is snatching purses. I can't be buggered with a fucking bank robber. I'm the fucking Batman. Oh man. If it ain't a citywide threat, I don't give a shit.
You know, speaking of the fucking Batman, don't you think Convergence should have had the missing 11 and 12, Jim Lee, Frank Miller? Wouldn't that have fit in nicely?
That would have fit right the fuck in. They totally should have done that.
The fucking Batman versus, I don't know, Captain Carrot or what other weird DC, like, because you can't have the fucking Batman in any like book that anybody wants. Like, it'd have to be completely.
I'd buy the shit out of it.
Enemy Ace or
the goddamn Batman versus
the
Bibbo.
Inferior Five.
The Inferior Five.
I'm the fucking Batman, and he ends up banging Dumb Bunny, and which is an actual character name in my defense. Like, I'm not being rude. Sadly, that's real.
If I was a comic character, I'd totally bang Dumb Bunny. If I was a comic character and she was another comic character,
some effort would go into that.
Yeah. Probably not a lot. She is dumb. Hello. How about some Marvels? We got a lot to cover, man.
So do. All right, what do we got?
That was our 10 minutes of absolute random bullshit.
It helps me get through the first drink on my way to the second.
So, what did they do to Captain Marvel 14, man?
Well, you bent the cover when you put it back, so that's how that.
No, what did they do? Not what did I do? Jackass. Now, it's down to a 9.2 now. I'm so mad. No, they brought her into this whole Black Vortex horse shit.
She's in space!
Out of absolutely no place. It's like, you know what? I'm having an adventure, and now suddenly there's this MacGuffin from 4 other books coming into my book.
Dude, did you expect the Black Vortex to be a fucking face-having, flying mirror?
No, I totally didn't.
Yeah,
I thought it would be some,
like,
energy. I thought it would be like a freeform fucking vortex.
Yes, like a black hole or a space cloud.
Yeah,
because those
like
are popular. You know, I mean, Fantastic Four for that.
You know, I wouldn't expect that they would hide it in Harry Potter's fucking attic.
Dude, it's like an Iron Maiden torture device with a mirror.
It
is. It's the freakiest, and she's flying around. The Adventures of Skippy Marvel and the Iron Maiden mirror. What the fuck? That is a child book that no one wants.
Which wouldn't have been all that bad in and of itself if they didn't have to bring fucking Thane into it.
Did Thane bother you more than Jason, Spartan X Emperor, now known as a criminal mastermind called Mr. Knifey?
It is just so fucking terrible, dude.
I added
this is what happens.
Let me be clear.
This is what happens when you push some other random horseshit book-selling agenda on a perfectly fine book that's doing okay all on its own.
This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
Big
Lebowski.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that whole thing twice.
Shame on you.
Don't you shame on me.
Shame.
You know that you have a greater appreciation of slacker horseshit than I do.
And yet your life.
Oh, yeah, because working 60 hours for 4 weeks in a fucking row.
No,
that's so slacker.
What you do when you're not at work, you totally qualify yourself.
Why, yeah, that's beside the point. Actually, I completed 2 strips in the last week and a half.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, shot them, edited them, effected them, paneled them. She's super hot, and she does not belong in this movie.
Hey, the first Leprechaun was the first film appearance or first major film appearance of Jennifer Aniston. I love that you hate Leprechaun, but you totally have that fact at your disposal. No, I know where hot chicks come from. Fuck yes, I do.
Well, the other thing is they had a Everything Wrong With for Leprechaun.
Oh, of course.
So, I love those things.
I wonder if they'll have one for Leprechaun Origins. So or maybe it's so good that they don't need one.
No. So what really ends up happening in this thing is absolutely fucking nothing because they have to conclude it in other books.
Yeah. Thane shows up, has a big fight scene where he can caramelize you or he can kill you depending on which hand he touches you with.
See, don't caramelize me, man. You know how long and
Don't
how
caramelize me, bro. Don't caramelize me.
You know how hot the shower has to be to fucking get that shit off?
Mr. Knife is trapped in carbonite forever. Like, so dumb, dude. Like, it just came screaming out of nowhere.
I don't know whose idea. I mean, really? You got all these other crossovers going. You got Secret Wars happening. You got an incredible, if oddball run on X-Men going on.
Isn't Armor Wars coming up or some variation on that, revisiting too?
That's a Secret Wars thing.
No.
You got all this stuff going on. You're like, you know what? We need an extra bit of questing going on. No, you really don't. Go fuck yourself. And that's what this book says to me.
Yeah, no, Black Vortex, like, killing me. And then the evil villainess of Black Vortex shows up and just waves her hand, and Super Thane flies off into space. And there's Space Angel and Space Gamora and Space Beast. Space Beast! Fucking...
No.
Or,
Cosmic.
Sorry.
Which is every bit as bad as space, really.
Cosmic Beast!
Space Angel. Actually, that might have been a copyright infringement. That's why they use Cosmic.
Space Angel.
The first person who can not use Google to find out and tell me what Space Angel was gets a box of shite.
Anime.
No. Space Angel was not anime.
No?
Nope.
I think you might be wrong about that, but obviously not the one you're talking about.
Nope. We're not going to talk about it here because there's a box of shite on
fair
the
enough.
line.
But what I'm saying is I think there might also be an anime.
There probably is.
It sounds
but it's
certainly like
not
it.
the one I'm talking
Fair
about.
enough.
You might be thinking Battle Angel.
I'm totally not thinking that, but since most of my anime knowledge is based on I don't want to watch that.
As is mine.
Now.
I watched Ruby. It was okay. It was kind of weird. It was. I kept
Did
wanting.
they explain why he shot Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, I kept wondering when they were going to let me take the controls and I could finish the game. And
what is Ruby?
It's RWBY. It's from Rooster Teeth. The guys who did Red vs. Blue.
Oh, so it's awesome.
It was reasonably awesome. It was way too long.
What is it?
It's a CGI anime, but it's got like this weird cell shading effect. The animation is all computer, but it's got an anime look to it. But it also has a Xbox look to it.
Is it hysterically funny?
Not particularly.
Right.
I did laugh a few times, but it's definitely not played as a flat-out comedy.
Grr.
At any rate,
Digression at
1727.
All right, what's next in the Marvel?
What's next is Black Widow 17, which, by the way, I wanted to fling across the room.
This was actually better for me.
The first third of it, where Matt and Nat are sitting there having a great time on a boat, talking about sunsets and the future, and no, I don't want to talk about the future. That I just knew by the end of the second page that this was some kind of illusion, or dream sequence, or influence, because Matt just doesn't fucking do that.
Possible future at. It's interesting. I here's what my takeaways of this are. I don't like this book. I've been verbal on this for 16 previous podcasts at one time or another, saying no, no, and no. And this did nothing to change it. I did think the fact that this was moving somewhere helped this. Like her fighting the Prophet's representative. And the teleporting fight was kind of funny. I've seen that done, of course, before. But it was done well. And there were a couple pieces that I thought were interesting. But what I really took away from this was the idea that her ideal future mate is Matt Murdock.
Well, I mean, of all the people she's been with, I mean, who's even remotely treated her right?
Bucky.
Good point.
But of course, that's a race.
But how recent was that? Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like, he's the one looking for her, so it's still topical because he still has feelings for her because her mind was wiped. But fantasy, it intrigued me that they did that well that way. And I love the fact that Bucky's out there searching for her, and she's dreaming of a life with Matt Murdock on a boat, fucking living out a Lonely Island song.
I think Matt and Nat were probably closer too, because they were together for a much longer period.
No, I don't think anyone's ever close to Matt Murdock for long.
Not without getting dismembered, anyway.
Yeah, no, shit does not go well in Matt's life. But so I enjoyed that. I like the fact that I really thought they built up certain things well. Like if the Black Widow is over her head, who of us isn't? Like I thought they did neat things with the character.
Now that is a good point. That's a good storytelling beat right there.
There were little pieces, and I'm like, I like that. I also like that. And then at the same time, I'm like, I hate everything about this fucking story, and I want it to die. Like the world's most miserable super spy continues on in the vein of, I don't like my life, but I don't want to change it.
I want to make up for it, but...
And also, can I just make... Damon Dran is so bad of a character name. Like, really? We're not past alliteration at this point. We haven't evolved past that.
Really
fucking
ought to be
40s
that.
DC Superman. You can't not alliterate.
Well, I mean, Stan Lee himself did that quite extensively, too. Bruce Banner, he's done a few. Bucky Barnes.
So he just likes the letter B, basically.
These are the ones that come off the top of my head. Because
This Marvel Legends career is brought to you by the letter B. As in, buy.
And that's that one. Whoop. That was the last one. Because I'm thinking, I think Super Spy Assassin. I don't think world-changing prophet guy.
I think
the plans to the nuclear sub.
I want this to be fun. I don't want it to be inherently miserable, and it just is. So that's what kills me on that.
It's not intriguing in any way. Yeah, so that's why we don't like Black Widow. At any rate, why don't we talk about all new X-Men?
Utopians.
Number 40. So these scavengers show up on Utopia.
Which only makes sense.
Well, sure, because it's supposedly abandoned. But they, of course, get killed because they can't stop their racist mouths from running. So the mutants inhabiting the joint talking about, oh, glad nobody knows we're here. Oh,
Well, the way I read it was that it seemed to imply that they were waiting for proof that they weren't going to be left alone so they could start doing something horrible.
I
Does
didn't
this
get
count?
that.
I don't think this counts.
I won't argue it, but I didn't get that.
Because they're always looking for something to count, and then at the end, they're like, now we're going to do something. This is the most ragtag, horrible
I hate
looking
this group.
Yeah, it's... Well, you hate it for... How many did you actually recognize?
Like 2, right?
Well, take a look. Let's go through this. Now, this also has the big Bobby reveal that you brought up months ago.
Yeah, but that's a tremendous pain in the ass right there. We've been through that routine over and over again.
We finally got to the issue.
And I don't particularly care about Bobby's, one way or another.
And we also see the post-Cosmic Angel.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought they handled really well. Like, like my future blows, so I'm going to make a choice that isn't involved in that to own that piece.
And that's good. And they actually have some really nice moments with X-23.
Yeah. No, I thought they handled that really well.
So there's a Boom Boom, Karma, for God's sake.
Is that Boom Boom?
That's Boom Boom.
Okay.
By the glasses.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Karma, which took me I actually had to read the issue after this to realize it was Karma.
Oh,
Karma's back.
Karma I recognized. Boom Boom I did not.
Random I did not want to have back.
Dude, as soon as I saw that, my first thought was like, ooh, TJ hates Random.
I was just like, no. And then whoever those other 3 jackasses are.
It might be Mask?
Maybe. But who's the blonde and the grayish guy?
No idea.
Don't know. We'll find out next Marvel episode.
But yes, no, random is one of the single worst.
Oh, fuck random. That is the definition of a bad new 90s character that should have stayed in the 90s.
And dude, think about that for a second. Like, this is the Boom Boom, Karma, Random,
But if
Mask.
you think about it,
awful group of
that's a
fuck-ups.
terrible group. None of those are compatible with each other.
Or remotely interesting, or like
No.
who's missed any? Like who's been sitting there going, "When I get Boom Boom back?"
I had a nice surprise. I was like, "Oh, Karma, what do you know?" Because I'm a big New Mutants guy.
True.
But it's not like I was slavering to have her around.
Exactly. Like, this is like the also rans of the Marvel Universe X-Men teams.
And that's saying a lot,
Yeah,
because
there's
there's
a-
a whole lot of secondary, second-string characters running around the X books.
When you're like, "Where's your warpath?" You've gone far afield. Like, Shatterstar couldn't get a job on this team.
Shatterstar, who is his own father of Longshot, who is his own brother.
My own grandpa.
And apparently they're weird clone lovers of each other as well. It's bizarre. Yeah, I don't get it in the
Yeah, I
least.
didn't know that. I did not know that.
I heard Shatterstar was gay ages and ages ago. I didn't know Longshot was. But it hardly matters.
He's not. Or maybe he's just...
Shatterstar definitely is.
No, I remember that with Richter, if I recall correctly.
Victor?
Richter?
Oh, Richter. Yes.
The one who causes the earthquake?
Yeah, that's right.
But wasn't Longshot with Dazzler and Ricochet Rita and...
I don't know. These are things that you read in
I don't know,
snippet.
but the fact that they're related in their dating is what bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about that, but...
But apparently they're like different alternate reality
Excess
clones.
is not...
Excess.
Like, not cool. No bueno.
That's the... You just gave Tom Brevoort an idea for the next X book. Thanks.
No, that's a crossover. Literally!
Ew. But no, I like the kids hanging out. Glad that they're back. There was a nice scene where they're just hanging out on the
No,
grass.
it was much lighter.
Talking.
It was nice. Professor Magic was kind of cool in the introduction of the hand.
No touching.
No, that's the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
But you save the galaxy, you get a hamburger like that. Like, I'll read shit like that all day long. That's Bendis at his golden. No, you had a note about Bendis in the upcoming changes.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what was going to happen because I couldn't imagine him abandoning Marvel altogether, despite the success of Powers and other things he does. But the solicits say he's doing Iron Man.
That is amazing.
I'm very fucking curious.
Who are the guys that are leaving? Remender
Hickman.
and Gillen, right?
Yeah.
And maybe one other.
Yeah, well, I mean, having Gillen gone is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, but what is he doing? The only thing he's doing that we read is Darth Vader, and he's staying on that.
Uber.
No, he's... that's
Oh,
not a
Marvel stuff.
book. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's keeping that one. Why, still, I mean, you never know when he was going to get another property that we'd like to
never
give a
know
go
when he
on.
may again.
I mean,
Like, right now he's...
Who in fuck's name thought we would ever buy Journey into Mystery?
That was a great book. I do miss that book.
Yeah. So, I would have bought another Marvel book on the strength of his previous
True,
Marvel
but he
work.
may come back down the line. I mean, he's still got the
Yeah.
relationship, obviously.
I mean,
but
shit, even the Image guys came back for fuck's sake, so...
Dude, they even invited Liefeld back, for God's sake.
Anyhow, a nice book that we had this month
Yeah, what do you got?
was Hawkeye 2, where the boys finally get to the circus, and they're hanging around and having a good time, but their pop comes back
Not
to
their
fuck with them.
pop. Their guardian or legal, like, I
thought
think
it
they're
was-
foster children.
I thought it was their pop.
Nope. They make
Oh,
it very
no,
clear.
you're right. They're foster, because you can't have a
Yep.
benevolent foster family either.
No, he's all about the...
That's not possible.
He's all about the check.
Yeah. So anyway, he shows up and the swordsman comes around and says, "Nope, sorry about that, pals. You can leave these kids alone or I'm going to take your hands."
I love that so much. I also love like the full-on ridiculous swordsman speak, and then there's something like, "No, sorry, I almost stabbed an asshole." Completely, yeah, like just great. And the fact, because Hawkeye's origin has always been that he was trained by the swordsman, but
Right.
the swordsman has had such a shady and forgotten career over the years.
Right. I totally don't. Is the circus part new, or is that?
No, he was a trick shot. Hawkeye was always a trick shot in the circus.
Okay. All right, so it's not a stretch that Swordsman was in the circus.
Nope. And then meanwhile, he also loses his earpiece almost immediately, which I thought was clever. Although, like I totally enjoyed the fact that they brought hearing back and then took it away. I was like, dude, I just made a point about how clever this was. Don't knock the earpiece out. And they, to their credit, went a completely different way because the evil kid weapon is apparently psychotic mutant midgets that just rip people's eyes out with their brains.
Yeah, I'm not digging that. That's the which one is the A plot and which one is the B plot?
You know what? It's all the same now. Flashbacks equal story.
The A-A plot? I don't know what to call it anymore. They're parallel.
Plot squared.
Plot cubed.
Well, the fact that Swordsman's on the cover suggests...
implies that that's the A.
But, I did think, like, we literally were just talking about the last issue, and we're like, hey, kid weapons, overdone. And they're like, no, these kids are monsters. And I'm like, all right, well, that's not overdone at all.
And yet somehow they still decide to take them with them.
Well, they're still kids, but you had to love the moment where Hawkette is like, no, don't call them creepy. They don't like that.
Nope. And Clint would be the one who's like, damn, there's some creepy-ass kids.
Yeah, completely another. And quite honestly, he'd be correct in this because they are creepy-ass kids.
Yes, and I don't like killing children. They frighten me terribly.
Hydrosalophic monsters.
Salophic? Cephalic. Hey, come here, comic books. No, I lost my books. Don't you shake your head at me.
I
like
totally
this is
shake my head at you, sir.
You know what I'm going to shake at you?
Your dignity?
My finger.
Nice save. Anyway.
I don't have any fucking dignity. What the hell are you talking about?
You
If
fake
I
it
had
well in
dignity, would I be 285 pounds?
Is that what you are? I still can't believe you wear purple, man. The Grimace is just not fucking...
Fuck off. Jesus, fuck, I hate you. And this is why we're on the edge of civility, kids.
To each other.
To each other.
What's next in the...
Well, on Thor 7, we have several weeks ago story time. We have Agent Roz taking up evidence from Roxxon sites who claim to be sovereign megacorporation land. It's like, sorry, no. Corporations are chartered by governments which are sovereign. They don't get to be sovereign themselves.
Yeah, this is the perfect... Like, Roxxon is such a bad company. Like, here's your illegal toxic dump. And this is just, like, comic book writers in business don't generally go...
No, they hate them. They hate businesses. They hate big businesses.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, like, the understanding of business.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like the understanding of government. It's like, bad.
Pretty much.
Like, are you a governor? You're a douchebag. Yeah, senator? We just talked about that in Star Wars. Douchebag. So, Roxxon is like the perfect example of the worst company ever.
It really is, but it's so to the 10th power of evil. It's like, you could just clean your shit up, and it really wouldn't eat into your profits
Isn't
all
there
that much.
Online strip about an evil corporation, like Evil Corps, that hires supervillains and shit like that?
I don't doubt it in the least. I haven't read it, but yeah, I truly believe that there is one. So, I'm never going to read it now that you told me it existed. If I stumble upon it, I would spit at the screen, but I don't know.
I think it was funny.
You didn't even read. You can't even know the name. How would you know it was funny?
When's the last time I read an internet comic strip?
Well, you got to tell me that, don't you?
That's true. I can't. 'Cause it's
Been
been so long. Wow, we are just not paying attention in the wavering from comics today.
Anything, right? So I mean,
The vagaries
we don't
of our
care
comic
about
existence.
Roxxon.
So the big implication here is that Roz is the new Thor.
Yeah, they go on for several pages with her on the moon, looking at the hammer, just sitting there having really vague thoughts that may or may not be committal to her being it.
Which just tells us that she's not.
Then
go ahead.
we come back to present era, all those days later. Oh no. And new Thor is getting her ass handed to her kind of by the Destroyer, but she's given some pretty good shit
It's
too.
the Destroyer. She should be.
I mean, the hammer doesn't give her that much skill. It gives her a lot of power, but whoever this is clearly hasn't been a fighter for very long.
Plus, the Destroyer has the hammer.
Yeah. So, she's eating a lot of shit for this. Eventually, Thor goes to his mother and says, look, we got to do something about this. She's going to fucking die. And I don't know who it is, so necessarily I don't have to care about her. But she's worthy enough to hold the hammer, so we should think of that. That should be a factor in whether we help her or not.
I honestly think that everyone on Asgard basically just plans to fuck up things that Odin tries to do. Like, they turned Odin into such an awful, awful person that everyone on Asgard is like, oh, is Odin trying to do that? We should probably fuck that up. So
yeah, he was always imperious. He was always a bit of a jerk. But,
no, it's not true. If you go back to old school Thor, which I know is your weakness,
a bit. He wasn't the
imperious, I'll give
raging
you,
jackass.
Jerk, no. He was actually usually he was always teaching Thor life lessons and no, of course we'll forgive you and bring this person back to life, or here's an extra cookie. Like he was like, the cosmic dad.
He was no Captain Kangaroo, man. He wasn't.
Dude, who can be?
Wow.
But what's interesting about this is it's good that Aaron has killed the Thor's list, because Thor, as I pointed out before, awful, awful private detective. If you go up and you're like, hey, my wife is cheating on me, and you ask Thor, he's probably going to blow up your house. And he'll just walk up to her are you cheating on this man? No, good enough for me. And then he'll trip, and his axe will fire off, and his fucking house will blow up, and your wife will still be cheating on you because Thor's a fucking terrible private investigator. But he's just resolved his entire list because he takes everyone with him. This is dumb.
That's kind of clever, really.
No.
He dug up everybody he could, every female that could possibly be worthy. So, like you said, his entire list of suspects. So it narrows it down rapidly.
Your argument is that Thor was so clever. He's like, hey, we need an army.
I wouldn't say so clever.
Bear with me. We need an army, and I've got this list of people I need to check out anyway. Let's combine them. My argument
is a brute. He's not necessarily a dumb brute.
Fair enough. But my argument is hey, we need a bunch of people. I've got a list of people. Let's just grab that. I think, because I'm sitting there reading that, and my first thought is, you didn't grab, the Warriors 3 or people that you actually know, So your argument, I actually like your thinking in this. This is a rare moment where I'm going to change my way of thinking to yours because it is clever. So what he's done is he's taken the list, because I sit there this is stupid. I can't believe you just grabbed a list of names. You're let me grab all these people, and we'll make them an army. You muppet. And you're sitting there going, well, he's doing this so he can knock them out as suspects. I'm like, I actually like that thinking. So you win. Good job, Grimace.
That's 3. Fuck you. It's not enough that's only the 3rd time in 211 episodes.
It really is.
That's just not enough for you, is it?
Not without, no.
You got to chuck that last bit of little humiliation in there, too. Eat a fucking dick.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. You say that
anyway.
Now. When I leave, I don't know what happens in here.
I usually drink more and go to sleep.
Yeah, you say that now.
No, I've said that forever. Ever.
Anyhow, so I do enjoy it. I do enjoy Thor right now.
Right now, Jason Aaron is the best thing to happen to Thor that's not named Walt Simonson. That's it. It's that simple. Go back. All right, who came up with him? Oh, I'm sorry, the Norse. We'll go with that. But in comic book Thor, there's Simonson is the pinnacle. And anyone who wants to argue with me can just fuck off. Because not only am I going to win, I'm going to make you look bad. And I mean bad. And after that...
You wanted to say bad one more time, didn't you?
Bad. After Simonson... Who have you got?
Well, it's not JMS.
I enjoyed Fraction. I actually didn't mind JMS, but...
Well, didn't mind is not the same as good as Simonson.
I actually really liked Fraction, but if you had to put Fraction and Aaron's Iron Man... although I'd read Aaron's Iron Man, too.
Pretty much.
If you had to put Fraction and Aaron's Thor head-to-head...
Oh, no, I just might lean more toward Fraction because this lengthy, drawn-out Roxanne thread is kind of...
Oh, okay. I'll give you that point.
His vision of Asgardian
because
life
God
and attitudes
went on forever, too.
That lasted a long time.
But
that ended right before I was going to get mad about it.
Yeah.
As quality as it was, that ended just before I was about to lose my mind.
I will give you that, but I stand... And it could be, if one's honest, the fact that I have this Thor in front of me and I don't have Fraction Thor. Because Fraction Thor was amazing. But Goth Thor is not an idea that was going to carry for a long time.
Fine. That is not a fucking leprechaun.
That is a troll that sucked friggin' ogre poop and just turned horrible.
Okay, don't describe things like that anymore. So, Uncanny 33. This is the one where Kitty and Ilyana teleport. Ugh. And Kitty doesn't like to be teleported without her fucking knowledge. This is the one where Kitty and Ilyana teleport to Monster Island. And Ilyana is mad because she's always mad because that's just who she is now.
Well, I thought that once again, this is the second issue in a row that I thought Bendis nailed bringing back old school Claremont.
Yeah?
Because once again, you've got that banter feel that has been missing for years.
Yeah.
And you also have little moments, like when
No touching.
the no touching was very funny. But the point I'm going towards is there's a moment where Ilyana and Kitty are walking, and Ilyana says something overly fucking spooky and terrifying, as opposed to her normal day-to-day level of it.
Right?
And Kitty's like, hey, it's funny when I say it. It's terrifying when you say it. And Ilyana looks at her and she's like, it's actually not funny. It hurts me. And Kitty's like, oops. And that was so good. Like, you are my best friend. And,
And I've let you go this long, but now that we're talking about it...
Exactly. Stop calling me Grimace, but how many times have we had little moments like that where you're like, oh, I'm just fucking with you, and you or I are like, dude...
No, really.
Yeah. And weird
it's very real.
Right.
It's very real.
And
you can appreciate moments like that.
Yeah, and when you're like, oh, I miss... So the reclaiming of their friendship and bringing Ilyana back from this fucked up magic character to an actual person.
Yeah,
which
that
has
helped
been
a
lost
lot.
over time. Ilyana's origin is one of the stupidest things in comic books ever. I was a 5-year-old Russian girl who ended up in a dimension raised by demons. And then I got de-aged and died, and then I came back, and now...
No, the de-aging and the dying part, I don't think they were strictly part of the origin.
My point...
They're part of her history.
Her history is ridiculously stupid.
Oh, yeah, it is. Her origin is not that complex or interesting at all.
It's
but
still dumb.
Her history is buggered the fuck up.
Yeah. Plus, I'm a mutant, but all my mutant powers are based on being a sorceress. Like, what's her actual
she's
mutant
only
power?
got... The one and only true mutant power she has is the teleport discs.
So the teleporting is not magic-based.
Right.
Which has always kind of been the implication because she does it with the sword and all that kind of shit.
Well, the sword never showed up. Well...
She never teleported until she was, Limbeso, the Limbo Empresso.
Okay, that was a reach.
They're not all gems, man. It's a volume business.
That was a reach, yo.
Yes, Limbeso did not fucking win an award. Fine.
I may have to look this up, but I think that one of the first times she manifested her stepping discs, she ended up in limbo. And Belasco noticed her, but she got out in time.
Interesting. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's kind of cool. But my point being is, even though Bendis has been writing her for a while, and he's made her like light humorous here or there, this was a stab at character development that was very well appreciated.
Yes.
And it was also a reminder that Kitty's not fucking perfect, and
which is hard for a lot of people to realize.
she's one of those characters that people, because so many people grew up with her, and she was their pinnacle ideal, or their ideal girlfriend, or their ideal best friend. So, that she's stepping on her friend and not even realizing it, because her friend has become more complicated. But we're talking about where her other best friends, Storm, Wolverine, and Nightcrawler, are so fucking complicated that you might need to be a little more sympathetic to the one that's not, didn't start that way.
Right on.
So I love that. I thought it was like Monster Island, don't give a rat's ass. And the Horrible Bee story that was the main story of, here's my daughter who is a mutant of particularly complicated facet. So she hurt her mom, so I'm going to leave her on Monster Island. Like, no.
See, more bad fathers. Now, he may have been traumatized. You can do stupid shit when you're traumatized, but come on. Abandoning your child to Monster fucking Island. Yeah. There's some twist that's going to come up, because a random schmo with a random mutant kid just doesn't know about Monster Island.
I'm going to totally disagree. This is exactly the kind of freaking thing that gets thrown out there and never visited again. Like, you might see her in the background here or there.
Oh, yeah, the character herself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're not going to follow up with the dad, because then you have to follow up with the character. This is like, it's one of those, there's a ping on Cerebro. This is the most powerful mutant of all time. And then you find him, and not a fucking thing happens.
Yeah, I mean, where'd the Omega guy go from 2 issues ago? He's totally gone. Nobody knows what the fuck happened to him. And they're not gonna, because Secret War's gonna fuck everything up. And
I think I'm killing Leprechaun unless you'd like to keep going.
They just had not innovative, but definitely gory kills. Something's actually occurring now.
Oh, fair enough. I knew you'd enjoy it.
That's not what I said at all.
No, but again, he's really nailing the tone of the X-Men books.
What we feel the tone should be.
No, this is what everybody likes.
No, is it? Because I've seen some Twitter shit talking about this is the worst X-Men I've read in my life, and I don't know how they come with it. They must have been reading Morrison if this is what they dislike.
That is not fair. Your Morrison hate is getting in the way. There's far, far worse X-Men. I have liked Morrison's X-Men run.
Yeah, you would.
That's true. Because it was good.
It's just, you got to go back to the well,
No,
it's like Nicieza.
I called you Grimace. Like you got to get your own back somewhere. Like I totally relate.
Like a lot of people like Nicieza, but I was bored to death by that whole era.
No, there's all sorts of periods and in betweens and whatnot. And let's be honest, like really, the worst period might have been Stan Lee.
Those were some rough issues to get through, man. No. I got that disc, and I gotta keep putting them away and coming back and putting them away.
There's a reason that book was almost canceled.
It's true. Anyhow, so yeah, that poor kid with the things coming off her face and the evil Wendigo manifestation powers and.
Yeah, I couldn't even really was her power the ribbons, or was it? And there was a monster napping behind her, or was
I don't know at all. It was totally unclear.
I'm like, I don't care because I'm never going to see you, weird faced child.
Yes,
but love the interaction of characters. This was as good, if not better, than the Summers boys getting back together in the last issue.
I felt it was better because those two jackasses just need to go below. At any rate. I think we're almost done with what has to happen in all new Captain America. In number 6, Ian is facing off against Zemo. Sam is still trying to take down Baron Blood. And after all the fighting's done, Misty saves his ass. Misty saves his ass.
Yes, question mark, question mark.
And then injects him with something that may or may not actually be the cure. I think it probably is.
Yeah, that was the. I didn't take it as a suspicion. I will say, however, don't suddenly announce in the same issue. How do I say this? All right. Suddenly, for years, Sam has been dreaming of being a family man, but now that he's up against ticks filled with blood and vampires filled with the blood that will turn you impotent, we reveal this in the same issue where he gets covered in blood.
Yeah, no.
Like, that's not good writing. That's unsubtle crap.
Yeah, at all. I haven't seen quite that motif for Sam anywhere else.
Right. And you know what? If you're going to do that, what issue is this?
This is 6.
Bring it up in 2. And then have this happen.
Work with it a little bit. Make it, when it happens in the same issue like that, it doesn't feel like there's that much of a stake.
If you did it at 2 and then give this whole, as he finds out this plan, it becomes more and more important to him to stop it, then you build to a point where you're like, oh my God.
Now it's just out of no, oh my God, he's ripping his entire spine out.
That seems hard to do.
But he's doing it anyway.
No, so this, whenever you do that, it's just garbage. I'm sorry. Like, this is not a terrible issue. I like Remender writing Sam Cap or Foul Cap. I think
Foul Cap is what they're calling it.
All right. They're calling it, or I'm calling it?
I see it on Twitter being Foul Cap. You're actually up with the rest of the universe for once.
They're up with me, is what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Look, did they embrace Bat Dick? No, they did not.
No, they didn't.
And they should have.
Don't ever say embrace Bat Dick again.
You've been trying to do that for 4 years.
Hey!
Anyway, that's how you do that, by the way.
Oh,
just so you know. So I enjoyed the fight with Baron Blood a lot.
Hate you.
I liked the whole Missy not being an agent thing. I actually thought it was really clever.
Yep.
So now I'm intrigued by that. And the relationship that's building between Sam and Missy, kind of interesting. Although what happened to
Misty or a faux Misty?
What happened to the Sam Big Barter relationship? I'm sorry, Jet Black.
She died. Don't you remember?
No.
Yeah, in the final battle of the previous series.
Oh no, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, she's gone.
All right, well then, hey, go for it. You know, get yours. So I liked all that stuff. What I did not like is that in the last issue, Baron Blood chowed down on the friggin' Falcon, and then it just shows up at the end of this one. Like, you were fucking kibbles and birds.
Kibbles and birds. That's terrible, but I like it.
Yeah. Wasn't he? Wasn't that the whole implication is he just ate the bird?
Yes, it was.
And suddenly the bird shows up at the end of this. Just flies in. Look what else I found.
We thought Red Wing was dead, and suddenly he's there again. It's like, okay, that was a cheap...
Right, so this gives me 2 options, both of which suck.
Yeah?
1, Vampire Falcon.
Dumb.
Exactly. Or 2, just going to ignore it. These are not options I care for.
Is there anything super special about Red Wing? Like,
didn't they try to imply at one point
that
he had a mutant power that he could talk to, that he could, relate to his bird on an entirely different level?
Yeah, but that's Sam. But Red Wing himself.
Well, it takes a mutant falcon to speak to a mutant person.
Possibly. Enough of that. So over in Silver Surfer 11.
Annoying.
Man, I want to say that writers and artists should stretch the medium and do whatever it is tells a great story. I want to say that.
Well, I will go you one better, and I will say that while this issue is annoying, it was clever and well done in how annoying it was.
I'm not 100% certain how I was supposed to read that, because if you just read along one edge of the paper and then flip it when you're done and work backwards.
It doesn't actually help. You have to read it simultaneously and just like it's like mind calisthenics. Like what was that thing on HBO back when we were kids, where fucking brain teasers or some shit?
I don't remember that shit.
But like, here's the thing. Like, there's some cool things with that. I'm gonna rip time and space. I need my ring. And then, but all these awesome people that just offered to be what they hate most in the world,
right,
to save one Earth girl, are suddenly willing to sacrifice 1,000 or 1,200 of their.
Somehow it doesn't fit, does it?
It came out of nowhere. Because the thing is, you're like, oh well, we've been doing this for a while because we're in a loop. Except, it's the next issue.
Yeah.
This was the shortest, stupidest quest ever. Gonna find you a planet. Next issue. We've been going forever. Found you a planet. Like, this is like Whitman's Star Trek comics.
Whitman. That's great.
Am I wrong?
No.
Like, this should have been, if you're gonna go to the point where you're gonna have, and it's not like they have the villainous lady, and I'm like, okay, one person's thinking this. But then you have the guy who's basically been portrayed as a priest the whole time.
Right.
Offer up the ship to blow up.
The duckbill looking guy. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, no, what? It was one thing when you had one person who wasn't necessarily a terrible person, but was, like the good of the many outweighs the good of the 1,200.
Right.
But then when you have the other character just completely throw that away, it didn't. It was like, I love Dan Slott. I love Mike Aldred. I hated everything about that. It was so out of left field.
It really didn't fit anything that had been established with these few short-lived characters so far.
But you start to see the Earthling Norrin Rad relationship being repaired, so we get back to fun space questing.
I hope so, but I still don't see any Silver Surfer in the solicits I ordered this month.
Well, Mike Aldred has never been the fastest artist in the entire world.
Yeah, well. At any rate, we got some Silk up next. Number 3. I'm having a good time with this art. And it's some pretty good stories, too.
Isn't the artist leaving? Like, is that what you told me?
I didn't really look, but she's definitely not on 4. So,
so you assumed she was done, whereas it might just be a filler issue kind of thing.
In Marvel these days, you got no fucking clue when anybody's sticking around for or not.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, there was no Silk in the solicits either. So who knows if this book even keeps going.
So we have Silk learning to be a superhero, and like, I know how to fight, and like finding her fight. And I didn't hate it. However, the Dragon Man rip-off character thing...
Who really could have used a better name than Rage.
Is that actually what they're going? Like,
well, I mean...
Pokemon Dude was better than that.
And they got their standard flashbacks, because that's de rigueur now.
Particularly in Silk.
Yeah, because we're still trying to establish her life before Spider-Verse, which is fine. But they have her going into the bunker, and then they have her beating up Dragon Rage guy, and then
Dragon Rage. That would have been better than straight up Rage, sadly.
Pretty much. And then they just sit down and have a little talk about, I got wife and kids, and I'm just trying to feed them and shit.
Well, let's not forget, you're like, the whole point is it builds to the Black Cat Silk fight.
Yeah. Which she almost completely dies losing. Because
the thing is...
Yeah? Which thing?
Are you really buying into the Black Cat being the mob boss of all mob bosses?
Not really.
They've established her decently, but I'm not convinced about any of it. Like, I know that, like, she's obviously gone full batshit crazy evil. Like, I'm not unconvinced of that. It just doesn't feel right yet.
No, not yet. And she already knows. She knew. She's known for issues that Peter wasn't Peter, it was Otto. So how long can she stay mad at him and be, because she only did this because she's like, I've had it with trying to be good.
I think, and it's actually one of the things I like about it, is that they've established the idea that she is just done with heroics and with not getting her way, and she doesn't get Peter. You know what I mean?
But
she doesn't get her man. She doesn't get to be a thief. She doesn't, she's trying to do the right thing again and again, and she's basically not gotten anywhere with it.
Yeah, but ramping things up where she's a kingpin rival is a little fast.
It's jumped up to a degree, and plus she's got more B-level super villains working for her than anyone ever. Like Scourge would want her fucking Rolodex. Like, this is how. There's your title, by the way.
Scourge would want her Rolodex. But how did she convince all these people so rapidly to work for her?
My problem, well, because she's lucky. But my problem is, here's my point with it. Like, I don't like the whole speeded thing. It doesn't feel right for the character to be this big. Like, her being anti-Peter, I thought was a really good move.
Well, sure, because she's been up and down around him for ages.
Turning her full heel, to use a wrestling term, kind of cool. Like, I liked that aspect of it. But making her like a friggin' mob boss kingpin...
Yeah, it's the degree that doesn't fit.
But the other piece of it is she was a really good thief and kind of a crap villain, and then she was a worse hero.
Yeah.
Why is she suddenly uber competent? Like, where'd that come from?
No fucking place.
Like, I've been fucked over, and I didn't suddenly get better at everything else as a result of that. That's not how shit works, people.
If only.
If that were true, you'd be the ladies' man of all time.
I would, in fact. Enough of that horse shit. There's 2 issues of Superior Iron Man to talk about. This is a mess and a half. This is a hot fucking mess.
I love this.
This is good shit, but holy crap. The backup from 8 years ago, who somehow is not the same backup that we had in Fraction's run.
Well, that backup got used, so now we have to go further back. I have a theory about this, but I want you to go through this first. Because I'm kind of excited about my theory.
Oh, okay. So, eventually, Empty Suit Tony faces off against Tony, and they fight for a little while. But then there's a little convincing thing going on, and Tony puts away his suit, and that's when the trap is sprung, and Empty Suit Tony wraps himself around regular old Tony.
I thought that was awesome.
That was brilliant, and shoots his ass up into space, because it's like, yeah, your new suit can take this, and now with my modifications I can, but what's going to happen up in orbit? We don't know. So, but a little bit of the new suit sneaks in, and they don't know that till later. And it's very crucial because he uses that bit to just say, all right, I'm in charge again. Look what I got. I got my suit back, yo. You didn't count on this shit.
No, there's some cool... I want you to go through both, though, because I'm going to hit my points, and I'm going to go to my theory, which I really like, as I said.
Now I got to open the second one, because that's where I thought. That's what...
All right, well, here's the point. So, the suit... The cool thing about that happens in this is that Tony implies that the suit is trying to erase him and take over.
Yes.
And so now Pepper's anti the suit, and then Tony comes up with a plan to create people weapons versus basically it's Armor Wars versus tequila drunk groupies with.
It's true. He invites
Tony
everyone who's taken Extremis to his house for a pool party, where he takes them over to be his minions in fighting Empty Suit Stark.
No, there's a couple of really cool things. If you didn't love the moment where current Tony is looking at old Tony and being like, oh, so you're rocking the mustache. That was unexpected. I love that you think that. Like, that was so cool. And the levels of suit back and forth and all the little addendums of that, very well done.
And the shoulder pads on the Silver Centurion were a bold move, but he was feeling it.
Oh, dude, totally enjoyed that. I also really like Pepper trying to relate to her stepson, the Inhuman Monster.
Teen abomination, if you haven't been listening, kids.
Plus, the point where it's like, oh, you know, my dad would hate me. She's like, your dad was Happy
You don't
Hogan.
know Happy Hogan, man.
Like, he wouldn't even recognize that you were green.
Nope. Happy would not have, and he might be nonplussed about how big his clothing bill would have been for the kid.
He honestly would have been plotting your football career.
Yep. Or boxing. You know?
There's no money in boxing anymore. Just for promoters.
Maybe so. I mean, but
It's Happy Hogan.
it's exactly.
Yeah, he's probably planning a figure skating career, for fuck's sake.
What? No. Happy? No.
The man was a Muppet. Anyway, here's my point. It's like all this is happening, and the superior Spider-Man, Iron Man. Wow. Wow.
You just did not have a good time spitting that out,
There's
did
a
you?
lot of superiors out there now. Anyway, what I really like about this, and I want you to think about this, because
Yeah?
part of this came from you pointing out the Bendis thing,
Right?
is what if they're erasing the last 8 years of dickhole Tony?
So
You're
he can go
seeing
back to be brilliant engineer
Yeah.
womanizer Tony.
Michelini, Leighton,
Yeah.
awesome Tony.
That would be pretty cool. I would be down with that.
You can, because if that's the point that Superior is happening, if this is all a goal, so that they're going to revamp, and Bendis can go right in with, "I'm smart, I'm awesome, and ladies love me, Tony."
I would appreciate that much more.
But you can totally see it now, can't you?
I can. Yeah, no, that's a good theory.
It's like, no, fuck Civil War. I'm not Civil War, Tony. I'm not hates Captain America and fun, Tony.
I'm Mr. Maserati, Tony.
Right. I had a perm last week, Tony.
I'm Hall fucking Oates, Tony.
Exactly.
Just got a notification that Epic Rap Battles just uploaded Shaka Zulu versus Julius Caesar.
That is an amazing sentence right there. Leprechaun Origins is appalling.
Yeah, that
for
was.
those of you.
There wasn't even any fucking leprechauns in it.
We talked about that thing.
And no. Did I say that out loud? Was that me? Let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man, number 17. How about that? Would you appreciate that?
Yes, so much. So.
Much better than talking about it. You got Monsters, Dark Continent coming up. 1 whole fucking star. Thanks so much. Don't you give me the 2 thumbs.
1 star, 2 thumbs.
Terrible. So,
It's from Vertigo. It's got a comic base.
Shit. That says it all. Protagonist films, even better.
Pictures.
You're gonna quibble over that.
Anyway.
The new super prison, which is completely unnecessary, is going in. It's going online. It's going up for its first test. Through all this, Ghost has been infiltrating Parker Industries to tear it up because he hates companies.
I love that. I love Ghost being like, that's just awesome.
He takes out a security guard, starts hacking away at all the systems. Everything breaks the fuck loose.
Oh no, it was very cool. There's a couple things that stuck out in this issue.
Oh yeah?
They seem to be building to a Peter actually falling for Anna Maria relationship.
Maybe.
Which I don't love. I like the character of Anna Maria, but like if you're into Dr. Octopus,
why would you be into Pete?
Like that
They're not the same fucking person.
So
they literally did share the same body, but they ain't the same guy.
They're both very bright, but Peter's a much better human being.
Which is why she should fall in love with him.
But, you know, we all know that the people that like scumbags don't generally do that.
Now, to be fair, she knew him as a gruff, at best, maybe a little jerky. She never knew him as a scumbag.
No, but he was definitely part asshat.
A little bit, yeah.
Anyway, the point being, like, but they seem to be doing that because Anna Maria just nails everything. Like, although I'm also not like she's one of those perfect characters. Like, I'm so smart that I get what you need, and I can tell you how to do this, and I can just throw out there. And every time she says something, Peter's like, "That's amazing because now I can do this as Spider-Man, and it won't be weird."
Yeah,
I don't like overly perfect.
No, it's difficult to get through an overly perfect character.
Like, do you remember when Alien Legion? And yes, I'm making an Alien Legion reference. But do you remember when it brought in Tamara, the female recruit, who was better than everybody at everything? And suddenly,
nobody could handle it.
Right. Not even that not handling it, but just suddenly, here's a character like with no depth whatsoever. It's like talking to the commander and running with the sergeant and beating everybody and being the first in the combat.
It's like the majority of the people on Star Trek The Next Generation. Everybody knows exactly what to do at all times, how to fix everything, and they can take anything from an idea to perfect implementation in 36
but
seconds.
They also, I'm going to disagree with you slightly, because most of them also had flaws. And that's...
I've been analyzing that lately for an article, and they don't have nearly as many flaws as you might think.
Well, Worf
was just a poor fucking fighter.
Well, he was also argumentative and uncomfortable to be around. Worf was a great character if you break that down. And Data obviously was made up of flaws that they slowly, but as it became more popular, they erased all of them anyway. But that's not the fault of the original character. Riker is exactly what we're talking about. Like, I'm awesome, and like, what's his flaw? Like, he likes beards, and obviously Tasha either.
No, he didn't like Tasha.
No, well, we can probably assume that he did.
Well, it was not like it was never on screen.
She was very, very flawed.
No, and that's why they got rid of her before the first season was up.
But yeah, no, I will say that the base level characters at least had, Picard had insane levels of personality, so you're going to have depth as a result of that. Like, if you look at Riker and Troy, then it starts to break down. Those are not their whole character arc is basically, we like each other.
How did you end up knowing so much about Next Gen?
I read, not Star Trek books, but things about things. I pick up things quickly. Haven't you pieced that together?
Yeah,
was I wrong in anything I said?
But Next Gen is not something that I would have thought you'd have put the effort to pick up.
Well, you also have to bear in mind that all of the points I'm making are first and second season. The depth that you saw later on, I don't know anything about. So, this could have all fallen apart later on. Because if you look at everything I just said, I know that the Data character, they threw away the flaws because he was fucking everywhere. Annoyingly so. But yeah, most of my points, if you think about it, are very early on when it was new, and even I checked it out.
And it all goes back to, Anna Maria being just too cool for school.
I like Anna Maria. They seem to be hinting that post Secret Wars, Peter Parker will be a tycoon and Miles Morales will be Spider-Man. Maybe. Is what I have read, hinted at. Outside of books, in the,
Yeah.
Which, we'll see if that happens or not. I don't like that idea.
I tend to shy away from most articles now, because I'm tired of
half-truths,
speculation and rumors, and but here's my theory. Even though you just pulled out a really good theory, it's better than 90% of the theories I fucking read. So
yeah, it's a guesswork, but I like to extrapolate, because if they nail the stuff that I'm seeing, I'm very impressed, and that to me totally works. However, in terms of this, if you're going to have Peter go off into the sunset, then you need to make it with Mary Jane.
Sure.
I think that if you're going to go that route, but you're going to keep him as a character, then you put him in the perfect relationship so that people are like, okay, he's back with her.
And you get an end to it. You get a close to it.
So if you're going to take him out of the Spider-Man costume, which to me is a horrible idea, then you at least give him the happy sunset with the pinnacle character.
No, I'm with you. That totally looks like Detroit. That sucks ass. See that building? I know that building.
But yeah, so you have Ghost threatening Sajani, who's the worst human being.
Sajani's a pain in the ass.
She's an inch from being a techno supervillain.
I can't say she's wrong on a lot of things, though.
No,
because she's one of the few people who will take Pete out on his bullshit. And not just fucking forgive him and say, fine, you're Peter and I love you, so it's okay.
No, Sajani is she looks at business as business, which is nice to see.
Right?
So that has an advantage. But she's also, not everyone who likes business is a horrible person who sells everyone out every second of the day.
Well, I mean, she has pumped her entire fucking life in the Parker Industries. She's put out the effort. She's managing the place. She's developing.
But
she's
she was
doing
like
the
this,
engineering.
She was like this at the think tank before this, too.
Yeah, but at one point, it was just her job and she was a bit of a jerk. Now it's her entire fucking life and her investments and her career and her reputation. So she's actually got a better justification now for it than she did previously.
I will say, though, if Peter's going to build this, where are all the other think tankers? And I'm not a huge fan of every character having to stick around forever.
Yeah.
But if you're going to build a better prison and...
Yeah, all these other guys should... All these other subsystem guys should have been building subsystems for it.
But if you're going to make it about, healing and recovering people,
yeah,
reforming criminals,
uh-huh,
then all the liberal hippie super geniuses he was just working with,
they should have been around too. They should have bought right in.
Or at least have been wouldn't you try to hire all those dudes for this very project?
Sure.
So
it's off a bit. We got 2 more we need to get to.
Okay. What do you
And
got?
then we can have another drink.
Yay.
And then we can do 10, 15 minutes on the DCs.
Boo.
It's 10, 15 minutes.
Boo.
Because we got 6 whole books and we hate 5 of them.
I could hate 6. I
hate 5.5 of them. 4.5 of them. Because one of them's Astro City.
All right, fair enough. No,
right,
no hatred.
So that's
towards
not the same. It's not
No.
Not the same. So, Miss Marvel. 14. Poor Kamala is crushing hard.
I love this book so fucking much.
She's crushing so hard, and they make the first half of the book so right on.
Yeah, you know that it's going to come crashing down.
She's hanging out with this new guy, and he's hot, and he likes her, and they can talk games, and he's got a car.
And he's the right race, he's the right religion, and let's not forget this.
Yeah?
He's also an Inhuman.
She doesn't know that yet. No. It just got revealed at the end of the last issue, the very end of the last issue.
Perfect.
That should be everything she could possibly want. Now, he picks her up on the way to school, where Bruno is waiting for the bus.
Dude, I love that
and
scene
her
so
brother
much.
is there, desperate to cover up that he's not head over heels on her. And her brother, I can't remember her brother's name.
Abu is a family name, or
Abu and Ami are mom and dad.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. So
no, the brother, the brother might be the
brother
best
sees
character
it and he knows
in
it.
this book, because the brother is the perfect mix of religious and positive role model, but at the same time, he's sitting there look, my family loves you. You're a great human being. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you, and you didn't do anything wrong. And he's so supportive and positive and awesome in this scene.
Yeah.
It's so nailed.
It is, and it would have been so insanely easy to just turn him into the stereotypical big. Forget the Muslim part. Forget the hardcore religion part. It would have been so easy to just turn him into the jerk big brother.
Right.
And she just patently avoided that. She's
Nope.
like, no, I'm not going to do that.
There's no stereotypes in this book of any kind. Not about people, not about race, not about religion, and not about character.
And it's goddamn refreshing, isn't
The
it?
parents are amazingly cool, and the brother is even better. If you don't like these people, and they revisit the Kaboom thing, so they are playing with the idea that she's learning her powers, until the end of the book, where they go the incredibly trope route of he's like, no, we're humans, we're better than people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take you off to meet Legacy or Legion or
Lineage.
I knew it had started with an L. And I'm like, oh my God. But here's my point. This might be a trope, but for the people who are reading this book, if it's getting the right audience, these are brand new ideas in comics.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is a book that should be pulling you into comics. If you can't appreciate Ms. Marvel,
why are you reading comics?
You're getting too old for it, like, or you're getting too cynical, or you're like. I totally love Brubaker and Phillips' Criminal, and Fatal and Fade Out, and you know that I do.
Oh yeah, because I'm right with you.
But if you can't find in your heart to love something like this too,
what's wrong with you?
This is such a good book.
This is a wrong hobby.
Is there a Marvel book you look forward to more than Miss Marvel?
No.
Not even close.
No.
Like, although Superior Spider-Man, again, Superior Iron Man is getting better and better by leaps and bounds, particularly if it's going where I hope it's going.
No, I'm happy when that shows up. I don't necessarily look forward to it.
If it keeps, if we know it's ending anyway, but if it kept moving along this pace,
yeah,
you would.
Right.
Is my only point there. But no, this is so goddamn good.
I would pick up anything else she wrote based on this.
Yeah, no, in a heartbeat.
Right. So let's finish this shit off with Spider-Woman 6.
You know,
she's got poor Porcupine
chained to her bathroom
radiator.
Like, for what?
She doesn't want him to get away because she needs him to determine what the hell is going on with all this blackmailing stuff that the minor M-list supervillains are being faced with because their families are supposedly off somewhere being held, and they're doing jobs to pay for the blackmailing to keep them safe. But they have this huge argument while Jess eats cereal from a fucking soda cup that she just emptied, didn't even rinse out.
No.
Put the cereal in, and he berates her for it. You don't even have any fucking bowls, and I'm supposed to trust that you are going to take care of matters?
No, I love the Porcupine. Jess is a terrible person. Like, when did that become a thing?
I don't know that you'd call her terrible.
She's got the dude chained up, and she's a slob, and she's
well,
bad at almost everything in the last
fucking
issue.
Slob.
True. Not an exaggeration either. You are a full-on slob.
All right, you could have backed off a little bit on that one.
No.
Ugh, you know, take a comb to that shit on your head.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, my 5 a.m. Carrying 900 boxes day did not result in pretty hair for you.
You know,
dude, I actually had to take my bandana and roll it up as a headband to keep the sweat out of my eyes today. I have never done that before. That's a shit day, let me tell you that.
This is a terrible flick.
That's true.
They need to go back to fighting monsters because this asshole soldiers partying stuff is boring me. And I especially don't want to be reminded of anything that has to do with Detroit.
It's like gangster soldiers. Awful. Anyway, getting back to this. It's just disappointing because I thought...
Well, she's not completely incompetent because she beats the living piss out of Senor Suerte.
Hey, first off...
don't you me like you have some investment in Senor Suerte. Don't look at me like you've ever known who the fuck he was before this
I'm going
issue.
to prove you wrong so badly. If you go back to your own collection...
Yeah.
You know that weird box where you have the stuff you're not sure about and you have to reread?
Right.
And you have the 3 or 4 Power Mans that I used to own?
Oh, yeah. Because the 2 appearances he made in there bonded you to the character.
Dude, he's got a roulette wheel for a chest.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's amazingly bad, which is why she beats him senseless while he's eating chicken at the restaurant he just held up.
Dude, phenomenal.
I thought that was fun.
Oh, yeah. And who were the other 2? Was it Big Wheel?
Big Wheel, who was stealing alpacas, which amuses the shit
That was very
out
funny.
of me.
Although I thought they had just done a lot with Big Wheel in the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. So
we didn't read it, so I don't know.
And then the other guy...
and she follows up a lead from Big Wheel, and then Urich shows up, and the place they were investigating blows up in the unsubtle motif of the door and the windows forming a flaming skull face thing.
Yeah.
Here's a hammer. Here's an idea.
Yeah. No, I just, like, I'm enjoying this. I like the B-level villain blackmail storyline. I like that we don't know if Yurik is a hero or villain based on that one creepy picture of him at the end of the last one.
Right.
Which maybe was just, like, it seems to imply that he's a hero in this one, so maybe that was just really badly drawn.
I don't know. You got fucking kangaroo in here.
I love that.
Goldbug. How do you not like an issue you got those guys in
But
there?
I do want, I just want Spider-Woman to be better than this.
Well,
I know that you're more forgiving, but the thing is, they just spent years making Jessica Drew super spy equivalent competent.
Yeah.
And now she's a hot mess who blows everything up that she touches. Tries to drive into a trap until Ben Urich stops her. Oh, hey, that was a big skull explosion thing.
This is a crazy-ass movie.
So, I think they have spent enough time salvaging this character that if you keep going this mediocrity arc with her, this book isn't going to last.
Well, if you remember, she's been... I don't find it that difficult to believe that she's having a rough time adjusting to street-level crime after all this hyper Avengers shit that she's done.
Fine. You know what? If you want to argue that she has to use a cell phone instead of some sort of super laser friggin' pointer thing in her ear that Tony created 8 years ago, but she's Hydra, Shield, Avenger trained. She should be able to drop some of these dudes in 8 seconds and not do any property damage.
She has. Where's the property damage? Which issue?
The last issue. Remember the 100...
yeah, but she was fighting this guy in this huge armored suit who wasn't expecting... He was expecting a drill and not a superhero.
No, you're forgetting the whole point was that, Yurik's like, dude, you're doing terrible at this because you've blown up this and you did this. They're building that whole character that she's not competent when she's beyond competent. And that's my problem. It's like, fine, it's a new take, but you can't completely erase all that. Like,
yeah.
And your argument, like, I get your point, but like, she's new to the street. It's not more complicated. It's like I just beat up Kang with a hammer yesterday. The Punisher's not around. Let me drop this dude. Oh, that's tricky. And you can't, like, your own point. You're like, no, that actually makes no sense.
It makes less sense. I think it still has merit.
I like the book and I want it to do well, but dude, it brought the porcupine back to life. I'm as happy as anyone ever.
Kangaroo.
Goldbug.
Señor Suerte.
I'm telling you. You got to go back and read.
I don't want to.
You own it.
I don't want to. I don't want to. Anyway.
Bless you fuckers. Bless you fuckers.
And away. The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.